introduce you to our department of General Ledger with Dagmar Teperova as the team leader and our other colleagues, which you can see here with the cameras on, so you can see their faces. What I'm gonna do now is also share a screen so we can see where we stand. It's a let me see here. It's a PowerPoint file which was sent to Matthew at the beginning of this whole process. And as you can see here, we have 3 departments. Yeah, so it's the OTC, which is accounts receivable, P2P, which is accounts payable, and general ledger. And as we discussed in the previous call, sometimes I do believe it might be a bit confusing at which point the general ledger comes into the process. So basically, that's the whole process which is expected to be done from general ledger side. And here at the bottom, you can see banking and treasury, which is part of the whole process you showed us in the morning earlier on with regards to bank transaction posting and reconciliation of the relevant accounts. So that's where the general ledger comes in. I think today is just the introduction. I'll then leave the word to one of my colleagues who knows much more about general ledger than I do. And I would also expect you to tell us which areas you think we can talk about in the next meeting. Yeah, if it's gonna be intercompany or fixed assets or maybe period end processing at the end of the month, whichever is easier for you. And then in the process, I'm sure we'll find a way how to make this work. So girls from a general ledger team, do you want to take a word and explain to our
thank
colleagues?
you, Petra.
Yeah?
Thank you. Hello, nice to meet you all. And I am Renata, and I am member of the GL team in our Rodenstock Center. And I will be in charge of the work with banks in UK with my colleague Lucy Simorkova. Lucy.
Yeah.
And I believe in good and smooth and pleasant cooperation with you, and that we successfully manage this work on both sides. We would like to ask you today about the basic process with the banks in your country from the ground up. If you could describe this whole process in some simple, understandable way for us. We have already read some information from the spreadsheet that Martin sent to you. For example, you don't upload bank statements automatically, but process them manually. So if you could describe this, how this looks like, which files do you use, and which transaction are you using in bank for bank statements and so on. Thank you so much.
Yep. Okay. I'll share my screen and then I'll show you through the process. Okay. So we every morning we do the previous day's bank rec. So for today, if I just show you, So this is our statement for the 14th of April, which was yesterday's date. So we have our payments. We have our payments and customers. We don't have a lot today. And so what we do is we transfer this information manually onto an Excel file, which is basically a cash book. We filled in the information on there already to save some time, so you didn't have to sit here and watch me type it all in. But I'll show, for example. So the 3 payments that were on the statement, we've just added them onto the bottom. So we had the lease plan, which is one of our suppliers, and then we had the salary payments that went out, as well as a payment for Andrew Cobbold. We categorize them into what they are for. So purchase ledger for the suppliers, salary control for the other 2. When we put in also a description as to what it actually is on the bank, which actually I just need to change that one. That one is actually a direct debit. Yeah. And so is that one, and that's an EBB. These are also shown on the statement itself. There'll be these bits here. And then you have to put a 4 in here. So it's left blank, but if you put a 4 and it fills it in with this image. This was because it was set up years ago as a macro. So if you put 4 in, it picks it up into the reconciliation tab, which I'll go to in a second. So put in the amounts.
Sorry, could you do this step again? What's that item cleared, please?
Sorry.
What's the item cleared there you just did, please?
Yeah. So when you're posting, when you're clearing payments from the bank, to make sure this sheet matches with your bank statement, you have to put in a 4 here, which basically ticks off the item cleared. If we've got a payment, for instance, that's set up future dated, so if I just did, I don't know, a supplier payment for tomorrow, for instance, you do supplier payment backs, but you wouldn't put a 4 in because you would leave this bit blank just because it hasn't cleared the bank yet, if that makes sense. So so I just did a payment for £1,000. I'd leave it blank just because we haven't done that bank rec. But then when we've done the bank rec for when the payment's gone out, then I put the 4, then I mark the box.
Okay, and how do you mark it again? Sorry, what was
you just put the number 4.
number 4?
Yeah, so
Number
just number 4. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, let's just take that back out. Okay, I would recommend to never delete anything out of this column, because if you do, it completely shifts the formulas and it messes things up. So you don't actually have to touch this, because no matter what you put in here, it would always populate into that cell. Okay, and then same thing on the receipt side, the exact same. So you do your date, your name and your customers, what the reference is, so backs. This column's the same as the previous one, it's the formula column, so you don't need to touch it. Item cleared, which is the exact same as what it was on the payment side. On the for the receipts though, you have to put in JP, otherwise it doesn't pick up the information. This was the initials of the accounts manager, but it just hasn't been changed because the system's set up to pick up their initials. SO account number, these are our customer account numbers. They are mostly shown on the statements. For instance, like Victoria J. Smith, they put their account number for us. Sunbury's given us their account number. If they don't put their account number here, we have to search them up on the system, which I'm sure the accounts receivable team will be able to find for you.
Can I ask you, those account numbers or reference numbers, do you add them all manually, yeah?
Yes, yeah, we type them all in manually, yeah. The whole cash book is a manual process. There's no copy and pasting. It's all just typing on the
Yeah.
keyboard.
So this JP, which you need to add in, it's kind of for like SAP to pick up
Yeah.
the information.
Yeah, it's it's because all our customer account numbers start with GB. Just so we know it's one of our customer account numbers, and I don't know if in other countries they start their account numbers with other letters. So you have to put another 4. So when you're doing the bank rec for the day that you're doing, so for us the 14th, you have to put a 4 in here as well. What this does, this brings up a sheet. This puts all the information we just put onto a BGC report, and which is this report here.
Bank.
Yeah, and it brings up all the customer. It's just an easier way to know what you've got to post onto SAP for the day. But this only does show customers. This does not show payments, the payment side. It's just all customer receipts. Once this information is all put in, we go to the reconciliation tab. And in the closing balance up here, you would put the closing balance of your bank statement. So it'd be this figure here. Yep. Once you put that in, you click the symbol for the spade. And what this does, this checks all of the payment side and all of the receipt side with the item cleared column. And it basically tells you if it matches with your bank. With your bank statement, so it lets you know that you've got all information put onto the system, or not on the system, sorry, onto the cash book. So if I, for instance,
sorry to stop you. Where does it show it's correct?
So this will match this here, which is your closing balance that we had to enter manually from the bank statement. This needs to match with these two. If
I press that spade and there is an error, it will flash or something, or
you would see a difference. So if I did, for instance, if I did £1,000, if I do 1,000 on there, and I'll just fill in all the information, facts, not applicable, full info. I'll just fill in all of this, account number. I'll just make one up, and then that. So because I haven't said it's cleared the bank yet, if I go to the reconciliation tab, and then click here, it will tell me that I am out by £1,000. Yeah, so it doesn't match now with what our closing bank balance is. It's basically it's basically telling us that we're £1,000 more than what the bank statement is. I'll just take that back out now.
Just a quick question, just to clarify for myself the process. You don't actually post the bank statement into SAP. It's not done automatically like one upload file.
Yeah, no, we do it all manually.
You use this Excel, very nicely done Excel spreadsheet to basically differentiate between the incoming payments, outgoing payments. Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And then you basically manually post it in the system. Yeah?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so once the cash book matches with your statement, then we move over into posting everything onto SAP. Okay, so I'm just going to save that quickly. So I'm just going to move that onto the other screen just so I can see it. Right.
Alex, is that spreadsheet used for each month, or is it for a whole year, or what period?
Every month you have to carry over the spreadsheet. You have to copy it and create a new version. I'll just quickly bring it back up. So say for instance, when we go over to May, your closing balance as of the end of the month, it won't be this figure because we're in the middle. You put into the opening balance here. Up the top, and then you just delete out all the information you've put for the payments and the receipts because we've only inputted April, for instance, because this is only the April cash book. So May would just be a complete clean slate. But as long as you carry over the closing balance into the opening balance, the sheet will work fine.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks.
So on to the posting them on. We've done a majority of the customer side because, as you saw, there was a list, but and we just showed the accounts receivable team how to do 3 of them. So I'll just, for example, we've got one left to show you how we clear off a customer's payment onto SAP. So we go into transaction F28. And you fill in, I've already held the data, but you would fill in the document date, which would be the date of the bank rec. So for instance, yesterday's date, which was the 14th. And the account number, this is a GL account number for the bank.
Yes, GBP. Yeah.
So we put in the amount that the customer paid. So this one's 52.19. I will show the example. So this one is this customer here, which would also appear on here because we put that 4 in. So we put 52.19, and then in account we put in the account number. So it's GB 082068, and then press enter. This will bring up the invoice that's outstanding on the customer's account. As down at the bottom, you will see the amount entered, which is what we typed in on the previous bit, and then not assigned is telling us that we haven't allocated it to anything. Then we double click on the amount. This will tell us that we've assigned 52.19. It matches with what we entered, and basically it comes to 0. And then we just click post, and that clears off that invoice from now. That's cleared off on the system.
So you've basically manually imported a bank statement transaction into SAP right now.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Step by step.
allocated that to an actual invoice.
Yes.
On the system.
Yes. Yeah.
And you have to do it one by one.
You have to do each
yeah.
customer one by one. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We can't. I don't think we can do them all as a whole thing. It's just. Yeah. I don't think it's possible.
Okay.
Okay. So that's the customer side done now because we already posted on the customers all the rest of them, just so we can show that the balance clears at the end. And so we exit, and then we go into it's the exact same layout, but it's F-53. This is the payable side. So this is for all the payments that have cleared the bank statement. So we fill in the information. So it'll be the 14th of April, and we would show the bank as our GL. I hold the data just because if you come out and then go back in, you have to fill this in again. So it's easier just to hold the data. So we're doing the amounts. So if I get the cash book up, go to payments. This will be the supplier lease plan. This is one of our direct debits that comes out for the cars. So we can see it's 579.98. So 579.98. Because we don't put the account numbers for the payment side, we have to search them up through the SAP system. So let's go lease, then BP lease plan, and then press enter, and then you'll get the invoice that's outstanding on the payment side. So same thing, amount entered, not assigned. Then we double click the amount. Once it's there, then we click post. And that's that payment cleared off against the invoice on the direct debit side. Okay. And then with the salary payments that we had, it's a different process. We have to actually journal them through the system rather than using those 2 transactions that we just had. And let me just get notes up. Okay, so We'll do the salary payments first. Like that.
Do you do salaries every month or weekly?
It's every month. Salary payments go out on the
Which-
14th of every month. If the
14th.
14th falls on the weekend, for instance, if the 14th was on a Sunday, the salary payments will go out on the Friday before the
Yeah.
weekend. So there'd be the 12th. Okay, so now we go into transaction FBO1L. This is what we use to post on journals. So it'd be the same thing. So 14th of the 4th, 2025, because that's the date of our bank rec. We would then, you have different posting keys. I don't know if it's the same for everyone, but we these differentiate between debits and credits, and then we have ones that are debits and credits for customers and ones that's debit and credits for vendors as well. But for normal GL line items, it'd be 50, which is credit because we're crediting the bank. So we put the bank code in, press enter, and then it will come up with this sheet just letting you know that you're about to fill in for the 164220. So we put in the amount that the salary payments is. In the text, we would put we'll just put a little description just so it's easier to see on the GL line items. So put salary payments and then April 25. You have to put a star in front, otherwise it doesn't come. The information doesn't show. It's I don't know why, but you just always have to. And then we do the other side. So we've done the credit side of the entry. So now we just do the debit side of the entry. So we put a 50 for credit, and now we put a 40 for debit. This is a different GL code. This goes to 480001. Press enter, and then the amount should save in for what you put, but you can retype it if need be. Same description helps. Once this is done, we go document simulate. This shows you just a brief show of the journal. So it shows you that we've credited code 164220, which is our bank, for the amount. We've debited the GL code for payments, salary payments. And then down the bottom, you'll see that your debits and credits match and it comes to 0. And then we just click post. We've got to do the same thing for the other payment that went out of account for Andrew Cobbold. So same details, 14th, it's money going out, so it'd be 50 the bank again. For the amount. In text, you just put a description just to help see it on the GL line item.
So what was this payment for?
This is for Andrew Cobbold's salary.
Okay.
And it's 40. This one goes to a different code. We have got notes of all the codes that things go to, which we will share. So it helps. So this goes to 630000, and then the amount. We have to put in with this one. We have to put an order number in to help with the posting. And then document simulate. Same thing. So it shows us our credit and debit entries, what GL codes we put them to, and the amounts. Just comes to 0. Then we click post. So that's cleared up. We've cleared off all the payments and all the receipts from the statement. So then we go into transaction FAG LB03. And then you put in the bank account number. So it's 164220. Click execute. and this will bring up, it will show your January and February and March, but this brings up your balances for the bank onto SAP. So this balance here, when you know that you believe that everything has been posted, this this balance here, sorry, will match with what the cash book that we
Cash book.
entered. Yeah. And once that's done, we know the bank rec's done for the day, and that's it.
Sorry, can I ask you one more question about the salaries? So you had 2 transactions. One was for wages for everyone, and then the second one for Mr. Abbott, or who it was. Is that who is he? Sorry, I'm not familiar.
Okay. Andrew Cobbold is someone who used to work here at Ronastock UK, but he now works over at Ronastock Thailand.
Okay, so is he like a contractor right at the
Not
moment?
externally.
Matt, do you want to answer that?
But so is that because you want to have it in like a different cost center?
It's an odd arrangement that has dated back many, many years. I don't even know how it came about, but Andrew used to work in the UK and now works for Rodenstock Thailand. And we pay part of his wages, which we cross-charge to Thailand, and then they pay part of his wages. So it's just it's a one-off oddity where we pay part across at the same time as we pay our normal salary payments.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you.
And that's the bank rec process.
Okay. Any question, Lucy and Dashi?
Well, I have some questions, if I may.
Yeah.
So what if you are going to input a manual transaction, so the transaction manually into SAP, and there is no transaction matching? So there's nothing to allocate to. What do you do at that point?
We leave the payment on the account unallocated, and then we contact the customer requesting a remittance advice to find out what they have paid and what that payment matches off with. If the
So
payment,
do you add it to SAP, or do
yes,
you?
yeah, we add it to SAP manually.
Mhm.
We don't have an example of one that I can show you by posting it on, but I can show you a customer that we did have that we've put a payment on and allocated to show you what it comes up on the system. Which one is it? So here, for instance, we have payment. There's Chalmers Opticians. They pay in instalments at the moment, and we post on payment accounts. So we have one here that came in today for £3,000, which is posted on, and then we will allocate it down when they pay off a closing balance.
Mhm.
The process to put a payment on account and allocated is the exact same as clearing off a customer's account. It goes in 2 ways. If they've got outstanding invoices, you can go into transaction F28 and post it on this way. If they've got no outstanding transactions, you have to post it as a journal onto the account. Because
And
sometimes
it will be left open until
yeah,
you have an invoice. Yeah.
yeah. Sometimes customers do they sometimes make the tendency of duplicating a payment. So they've cleared off everything on their account and they've decided to send us the money again. And then we've got nothing to clear it off with, so we have to post it on the account and then inform them and let them know that they've done this. And then it's their decision if they want it refunded back to them or if they want to keep it on the account. So then when they next make a new payment, it can be deducted off their next payment, basically.
Yeah. Perfect. And now more related to like general ledger. So let's say a bank fees and or interest, how do you post that one if it appears on the bank statement?
We
Okay.
post
Or
we
VAT returns or something like that.
yeah, so we post them all on as journals, all through transaction FB01L. So this one that we just used to post the salaries and Andrew Cobbold's, we do the exact same for them. So we have a list of all codes that we like notes that we have. So like bank charges would be it's money going out, so it'd be 50 the bank again, and then it would be 40 the bank charges GL account number.
So this creates the manual journal and as well allocates the payment. Is that correct?
It basically it posts the payment from the bank through the bank straight to the GL account number. So the GL account number for bank charges is 675000.
Yeah.
So the same would be for like interest or and so let's say if you've got a VAT return or anything where you need to add, do you add like a PDF document somewhere or do you attach them to the transactions?
No, it's just all just a manual journal posting.
Just manual journals.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's only supplier invoices and customer invoices that are the PDFs.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, if you don't mind, ladies, I've got some more questions.
Yeah, I don't just možná se zeptat, jestli je možné, jestli by byli ochotni nám nějaký jednoduchý manuál, tím, že to dělají manuálně, asi to bude složitější, nebo my už budeme pracovat s daty v tom SAPu, že to budou nahrávat oni. A mi to není úplně zcela jasné. Víš?
Rení, prosím
no.
tě, já jsem si obrazek k tomu udělala.
Jo.
Budeme, určitě můžeme si ten manuál, ale já se chci zeptat ještě na jednu věc, jo, tak já bych se teď jenom zeptala,
Určitě,
oni používají
jasně.
2 bankovní účty.
No, na to se chci taky zeptat, jo.
Ona tam má
So my question is, because going through SAP, I could notice that you use probably the second bank account in your currency, and this should be reevaluated. If you can tell us something more to this to this second bank account.
Is that for euros?
Yes, one for
In
euros.
Yeah.
No, actually, sorry, there is one for British pound, then there is a clearing account for British pound, and there is a third one for euros.
In euro, is process monthly, I guess, just monthly.
The euro account is still weak. It's still the same as the normal bank rec, but we don't have any transactions go through the euro account. We only have a very small amount of euro of money in there, so it's just to keep the account open. But all our transactions to euro countries that we make euro payments to comes out of the sterling account, and then when we post it onto the system, we post it as a journal still, but we take the bank charge that you get from it to post it. So we do I'll say it clearer. So we pay, so for instance, if we're paying a supplier a euro invoice, we would clear it off to match off against the invoice. We would then take £15, which is the standard bank charge from the bank, and post that to the bank charge GL. And then what's left over will be the conversion rate between euros and GBP, and we post that to another GL code.
Yeah,
Is it foreign exchange? Yeah.
Yeah, the foreign exchange. Yeah.
Just for this. I saw.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Yeah, we don't have enough funds in the euro account to actually make any payments out of that account, to be honest. I think it's down to like 700 euros or something like that. It's not a lot. Regards to the clearing account, we actually try not to use it, just because otherwise you have to move everything over from the clearing account into an account before the end of the month, so it's easier just to deal with things as they come in, rather than just leaving them in that suspense account and just till like further later dated. Yeah, I don't think it's been used in a while, to be honest.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
And one more question about transfers. So you also have some intercompany accounts, transfers between like intercompany and sub. So do you just? So is it between the parent company, or I think it's the code 255, 160, 165, and 168.
Okay.
Let me.
255, 168. Yes,
Yeah.
and continuous account. So
it's called
255,
IHC bank clearing.
Okay, just
Is it active?
bear with a sec.
Just something like fish pool accounts.
I mean, if you don't know the answer now, we can just, make a note of it.
Yes,
and you can answer next time. It's actually those three codes that we've noticed on in the chart of accounts, which is 255, 160, 255, 165, and 255, 168 for intercompany transfers.
It's to do with when we make payment to head office. So we only actually post to one of those codes. The other postings within the codes is actually head office. So we post the payment out when we make a payment to Germany to the 255165. But anything that's going through the 255160 account is Germany doing their side.
So what payments that would be, for example?
So we order in our stock from Germany for our lenses. So we're paying them for stock that we've received within the month.
So that will go through this account 165?
The 165, when we make the payment, that's where we post it to. And then Germany do their bit within SAP for us that allocates it off.
Oh, so you didn't actually touch it, the other two accounts?
No, when we buy products from them, they do go onto supplier ledgers, which is 4002 is one of our supplier ledgers. We don't actually post the payment onto that ledger. We post it onto the 255165 number, and then Germany will go into the system and match the payment against the invoices on the 4002 account.
Okay, that's. Thank you. That is a question for us as well, to ask, our German team, because we will be probably like taking some of their duties as well. So that will be a bit of, that's something we need to ask. Yeah,
it never used to be done this way. We used to clear it off on the ledger, but they introduced the in-house cash banking, which is these new nominals that we're seeing now. So it's all done against the nominal rather than on the ledger. But yeah, Germany will be able to help you with that as well.
Yeah, perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have one last question from me. So if you post something incorrectly, or if you need to reverse some reconciliation or allocation, do you just, how do you do it, please?
So if we had, if we allocated the money onto a customer's account incorrectly, we can go into transaction FBRA. This resets this will reset the cleared items. So you have to get the reference key off the customer. So if I just pick, for instance, I'm not going to reverse it, but if I pick a customer the one that we just allocated in the on the customer side. So let's go. So kind of 082068. Oh, sorry. So I go all items. This is to show everything. I'm just going to put in a date range just So, because if you go all items without putting in the date range, it will bring up everything for the customer, and sometimes it can take quite a few minutes to open up.
Mhm.
Oh, and then it's actually telling me that there's nothing there, which is even more concerning considering we just did it. All right, I'll just have to go all items and see. Okay, so I don't know why it wasn't bringing it up because I was putting in the 14th for the 4th. So this is the DZ indicates that this is the payment. RV indicates that that's the invoice. So we double click onto the payment that we've just allocated. We then go on the top hat up here and we copy this reference key and we put that into here, so in this clearing doc bit, and then we just click save, and what that does, it reverses out your payment and puts that invoice that was cleared down against it back to outstanding. This can go for more than one because they all have individual clearing doc numbers, so which match off. So this number here would match with this number to let you know that that's for that. An example of a bulk version would be this payment here is for all of these invoices here with the matching document number. So if I reverse this for £44.73 payment, it would make these 3 invoices outstanding again. And then you will your GL amount on the 164220 will be out by the payment because you've basically reversed it out.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, I think that's all from me. Yeah, I've got no other questions unless someone from my team.
For me as well. Thank you so much for today.
Hello. Yeah, maybe I have one. I would like to ask, for example, in situation when you see that in the bank statement there is no, for example, incoming payment from some customer or something, and you know, or you don't know who or what it is related to. How do you process it, or do you, for example, use some search in SAP and you are trying to find some historical shortcut from bank statement? Or I mean, in a situation that in bank statement there is incoming payment and there is some shortcut with text, or if you have some approach, or what do you do?
Customers usually put in customers put in their names onto their payments, so we search by their names on the SAP system, and then we find the customer account that has the amount matching with it, matching with the payment.
Yeah, with the customer, yes, but in the situation, it's maybe some institution or something what it's not related to customers, or
something new, or
or something really what is processed
unidentified.
just once in a year, or maybe really
the approach that I'd take is I'd run log into the bank and I'd run a search period of a few months or so. And I'd export that to a CSV document, and I'd look to see what date we'd last time had a transaction with that specific customer or non-customer. I'd then look at the GL nominal in SAP, being the 164220, and see where that transaction got posted to last time.
So mainly it's then a process through the banks directly in the system, and then try to find the historical bookings in the SAP.
Yeah, look on the bank first of all to see if we've had a similar transaction previously within the last 6 months or last year or so, and then look in SAP to see how that got dealt with last time.
Okay.
The other thing we might look at is we might run a debtors report just to see if that balance matches to a debt for a particular customer.
Okay, good. So thank you for now. Yeah.
So any question
for
today?
Lenka had some question. She's asking about how do we get the bank statement? So do you have access to bank, I presume? And do you download it or do you get it from someone daily?
We log in onto the NatWest Bankline website on the internet, and we have I can show you. We have these little devices that we use to log onto the bank. Yeah. And then it logs us onto the Rodenstock bank account, and then we print off the statement like manually from the bank.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Spoke to Martin about this briefly yesterday. He's going to give me a list of who he needs to have access, and then I will arrange to get you readers and cards for those that need access.
Yes.
I think that will be mainly, or that will be done by Aged Payables team. But yeah, it's good to know where to find it. So just that information was missing. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you have anything else you want to show us, or maybe like you mentioned, you will give us a list of the accounts that you use. Maybe if you have something like a cheat sheet or something of transactions, that will be very helpful.
Yes.
Maybe even like a screenshot of your SAP of your favorite items, transactions, if you don't mind. That will help us, to see what transactions you are using, like on daily basis. That will be
it will be very good for us.
I'm sure we will have more sessions about this later on, to just watch you, or just see what or if we have any questions, we will probably connect next time.
Okay, so Petra, thank you so much for today, for your time and trying to explain us.
It was very helpful.
The processes.
No problem.
And I just wanted to ask again, is there any area, Dasho, Dagmar, which we should concentrate the next time with general ledger? And also Matthew, or do you think from this list of processes for general ledger?
So I think the only thing I would say, Petra, is probably worth you having a quick conversation with Martin. I spoke to Martin with Antonia yesterday, and it was, the plan is that you would take the lead on the general ledger side with Germany first, and then we would follow, just to make sure that what you're taking from us is the same as what you're taking from them. Because there may be bits and pieces that it doesn't make sense for us to put across, and we don't want to do that initially, then to take them back. So I think Martin will probably talk with you, but I think for the main, we were just going to do the bank today because it ties in with the other two sides, but that we would do a lighter touch on the general ledger.
Agreed.
Probably want Martin to start with.
Definitely, I'll do. And thank you for today. It was really helpful from your side, that as you could see that really the processes do align together, and sometimes we talk about AP side or AR side, but it's GL side for us. So thank you for your understanding, patience, and I'll look forward to our next meeting with whichever department at our side. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.